Welcome back to the Tamarosa.
We're going to talk a little bit about calf sharing. We get a lot of questions and comments, and we thought we'd take a few minutes to talk about it because, surprisingly, we've never done a video about that.
So we're going to start tonight by showing you our nighttime routine with our calves. Our cows have full access to pasture during the grazing season, and right now we have them in a paddock. So we're coming in and giving them some supplemental hay, and here come the calves. The one in the front is Dandelion, about 9 weeks. The one to the right is Arrowleaf, 7 weeks, and the one in the back is Sunflower, 11 weeks. Right now we're separating the two older calves overnight, and then they get to come back out and nurse in the morning after we've milked.
Arrowleaf still spends 24/7 with her mama. She's only 7 weeks old, so at a minimum we wait until 8 weeks before we start separating at night, but it really depends on the calf. Minimum 8 weeks, but sometimes we go a little bit longer. Kindergarten. Kindergarten.
We always tell the calves that they're going to kindergarten. They get their own little special area with clean bedding, water, and their own hay. And that's where they hang out for the night. So here are the mama cows. They're getting a little bit of hay. There's Arrowleaf. And there are the two other heifer calves over there. So you can tell nobody is in distress. Everybody's doing fine.
Good morning. It is time to head to the barn. Good morning, girls and boys. I know. Good morning.
And there are our two little calves. Try to clean off my camera lens. The mamas have been milked, and now we're going to put them both together. Sunflower, dandelion, come on. Sunflower, dandelion, come on. Come on. Well, we're done with our morning chores, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the experiences we've had and pluses and minuses with calf sharing.
I would say, in general, we really love calf sharing, and we would never do anything but it does come with its own challenges.
Spud wants to be in the video. Hi, kitty. One of the challenges is letdown and getting the milk that we're calf sharing, which means we are supposed to get some milk. And you want to talk about letdown in the milking parlor?
Yeah, I think this year it's been a lot easier. I think last year, which were all of our cows' first lactation that have calves, they definitely had a little bit more trouble wanting to let down in the parlor. But this year they've been really good. Sometimes there's, they try and hold back a little. You gotta, make sure you prep the udder well, but otherwise really haven't had much trouble this second lactation with letdown.
And then we had one cow that had stillborn, and so we could kind of use her as a gauge. Let's say on a day she was giving like 4.5 gallons. And our oldest calf, right before we started separating them at night, was probably taking about 3.5 to 4 gallons from her mama.
Yeah,
so
she's growing well.
So we could see that that's how much they were getting. So you are going to lose milk, but there's a trade-off. So what do we gain by doing calf sharing?
Even though we lose milk, the benefits vastly outweigh the negatives. So we don't have the labor of feeding calves, which is a pretty big commitment. For those of you who have fed calves know. And then we do bottle feed one time, and that's right after the calf is born. We bottle feed colostrum just to 100% ensure that the calf gets it. But after that, it's nursing on mama. Then the other benefit is the health and vigor of the calf. I mean, they are amazing. I mean, they are big. And you would expect big calves with as much milk as they do get. So even though it's a trade-off to lose that milk, it's definitely a positive in the size of the calves.
So Stacey was mentioning health benefits. One of the things people told us about calf sharing was, one, it was going to be too much milk for the calf and they were going to have scours, or they were going to put on too much weight. And then also for the health of the mama cow, it would ruin their udder. So we found that the calves, if they ever have anything that they're dealing with, just like a child going through or dealing with a virus, it pretty much goes through them in like one day. And then they're with their mama cow that's constantly, you know, giving it good nutrition, licking on it, you know, grooming it. It's got full, you know, exercise and outdoor access, and so they stay very healthy. And then you want to talk about udder health?
A lot of people would say, oh, you know, the calf's gonna beat up the udder and you know, just shred the teats. And we have not found that to be the case. In fact, I think we have very good udder health, and we had some old-time dairy farmers tell us, you know, back in the day, that was the treatment for mastitis, was to put a calf on. As far as cut teats, we're in our second year now. So far, we haven't had any. Last year, we had one, and it wasn't even that bad of a cut. It was more of a scratch. You know, I think udder health has been great. It does take a little bit more attention in the milking parlor when you're milking. We do have some plugs because a cow comes in. If a calf just nursed and there's an empty quarter, you know, we might put a plug in that.
So how much milk are we getting per cow, I think, is a question that a lot of people are going to ask us. And just like when people ask us about grazing, it really depends. You know, when the cow first calves, we're getting a lot of milk because that calf isn't drinking a lot of milk. And then as we get to that first 8 weeks, you know, the calf is drinking more and more and more. Mm-hmm. So just like the example we told you earlier, taking a lot of milk. And then once we separate them at night, how much are we getting with true calf sharing where we're separating them at nighttime?
I think we get about half.
Okay, which is about 2 to 3 gallons.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you know, there's so many variables. You got to factor in the cow's lactation curve too, and the weather and what we're feeding. But it's plenty for us. How much milk do we get? Plenty.
So I guess the thing is, if you have cows that you're interested in doing calf sharing, you could definitely do it. It's very tailored and specific to your animals and your operation. We did different research. You know, we looked for videos on YouTube. We contacted different farms. So we're not the first people who came up with this idea, and it's not something that's just for small operations. There's small, medium, and even large operations that are doing calf sharing.
But you don't hear about them a lot. You know, it definitely took us some research to find those other farms that are doing it. They all do it a little bit different.
And if you found this video and you're like, who are these crazy farmers? We have a small dairy farm in northeast Washington State. We are certified organic. We're currently milking 4 New Zealand genetic jerseys.
And we process our own.
We process our own.
We vat pasteurize and bottle milk in glass bottles. We do whole milk and other flavored milks. We make yogurt and cheese.
To sum up, what are the positives of calf sharing that we found on our farm?
Very hardy calves.
Yes, healthy calves and healthy mamas. And then number 2.
Less labor for us.
Less labor and management. And then possible drawbacks, number 1.
Challenges with letdown.
And then number 2.
You got to pay for it with milk.
Exactly. It's as simple as that. So thanks for coming along with us on the Tomarosa. We've had a lot of questions about calf sharing. If you have other questions or other suggestions, or if you calf share, put it in the comments below. We really would like to hear from you.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.